Imagine this. Somewhere in Vietnam, there are beaches so stunning they look unreal, yet almost no traveler has ever set foot on them. No bustling resorts, no noisy crowds, just you, the sound of the waves, and sand so soft it slips through your fingers like silk. These aren't just beaches, they're secrets the world hasn't discovered. And today, you're about to see them all. I'm talking about Cay Men Beach, a small hidden gem tucked deep within the Nam Du archipelago in southern Vietnam. To get there, I had to hop on a local wooden boat, rocking gently across the waves for nearly an hour from the main island's center. The sun was just beginning to rise, and the water shimmered like a mirror draped in crystal. And then, the moment my feet touched the sand, I fell silent for several minutes. Not because I was tired, but because I simply couldn't believe what I was seeing. In front of me was a tiny bay, untouched and so still you could actually hear the wind slipping through the palm fronds. The water was so clear I could see schools of tiny fish darting around my ankles, each movement catching the sunlight like little fragments of glass. No restaurants, no hotels, not even a beach chair or a sun umbrella. Here, it's just you and nature, raw, pure, and endlessly generous. Locals call it their hidden beach, and they protect it like a sacred gift. No trash, no noise. And maybe that's exactly why it's remained just as pristine as the day it was first discovered. I often tell travelers to visit between February and April, when the weather is calm, the sea is as smooth as glass, the sky is crystal blue, and the winds are gentle. Spend an afternoon sitting on the rocks, watching the sun melt behind the palm trees, and you'll understand what it truly means to return to yourself. Traveling isn't always about going far, staying in five-star resorts, or checking in at the latest hotspot. Sometimes all you need is a quiet beach, clear water, and a peaceful moment to breathe. Really breathe. And for me, Cay Men is exactly that place. I've been living and working as a tour guide in Vietnam for over a decade. And if there's one beach I always find myself returning to whenever the noise of city life wears me down, it's Dao Be, a place so simple, so quietly beautiful, and so unbelievably peaceful. It sits north of Nha Trang City, just about an hour's drive away. And yet, the closer you get, the slower everything seems to move. Less noise, fewer crowds, and yes, even less cell signal. The name Dao Be itself has a curious story that often sparks travelers' curiosity. You only truly understand it after experiencing the place for yourself. The beach is fronted by tall sand dunes and long slopes of soft white sand. To reach the water, you have to cross what feels like endless dunes stretching for hundreds of meters. The incline is so steep and the sand so soft that every step sinks deep, as if the earth is trying to hold you back. After trekking to the beach and then back again, locals joke that you don't walk home, you crawl back. That's how the name Dao Be, literally crawl slope, came to be. Dao Be isn't loud and busy like Tran Phu Beach, and it's never as packed as Vin Pearl. Its charm is gentle, like a quiet countryside girl whose smile you can't forget. The sand here is something else, pure white, fine, thick, and so soft that you could walk barefoot all day and never want to put your sandals back on. A row of tall coconut palms lines the shore, leaning toward the sea breeze, as if waving you in. I once brought an American couple here, both retired and well-traveled. They'd been to Thailand, Bali, the Philippines, but the moment they stepped onto Dao Be's sand, the wife turned to me and said something I'll never forget. "This is the peace we've been searching for." Here, you can rent a small round basket boat to paddle around the bay, or simply lie under the palms, read a book, and sip fresh coconut water. If you're lucky, you might get to join the local fishermen in hauling in their nets, a hands-on experience that connects you to the humble, enduring life of Vietnam's coastal villages. There aren't many luxury resorts here, mostly just small, simple homestays charming in their own way. The locals are warm, open-hearted, and always ready to share old stories about their home. A place where the sea isn't just for swimming, but is the very lifeblood of their lives. Traveling to Dakhlet isn't about checking in to keep up with the latest trend. It's about truly slowing down, breathing deeper, and appreciating the beauty of simplicity. And sometimes, it's places like this that give us exactly what we've been needing all along. I still remember the first time I came to Kai Company that day. The sun was warm but gentle, and the sea was a shade of turquoise so vivid it looked like it had been painted. As the speedboat approached the shore, I couldn't help but laugh to myself. I honestly couldn't believe there was a place this beautiful that so few people knew about. Kai Co lies in Quy Nhon, a coastal city in central Vietnam that's slowly catching the attention of international travelers. But Kai Co is different. It's still pure, untouched, and as innocent as if no human hands have altered it. Picture this: a crescent-shaped beach, hugged on three sides by rugged mountains, with a golden stretch of sand, so soft it feels like silk. The waves roll in gently, whispering something only you can hear. You can get here in two ways: by speedboat, skimming over jade green water, or by motorbike, riding along a winding mountain road where every turn reveals a postcard view of the sea. What I love most about Kai Co is that it feels like your very own private bay. No loudspeakers, no overcrowded restaurants, just you, the sun, the wind, and the ocean. I once brought a group of American guests here, including an older gentleman who had lived in California his whole life. After a morning of snorkeling over vibrant coral reefs, he sat quietly on the sand for a long while. Just before we left, he turned to me and said, "Billy, this beach reminds me why we should never stop exploring." And I couldn't agree more. Kai Co isn't just a place to sightsee or take photos. It's a place to reconnect with yourself through the rhythm of the waves, the touch of the wind, and those rare moments of silence in the embrace of nature. If there's one spot in Vietnam that will make you say, "Wow," without any special effects, it's this one, Kai Company. Con Dao always feels like stepping into an old film, where life moves slower, the air feels softer, and the silence has a way of sinking deep into your bones. But in the middle of all that calm, there's one place that surprises me every time I go. This is Trau Beach, the only beach where you can relax in the sand and watch airplanes land right over your head. Sounds strange, right? But it's true. Trau sits right next to Con Dao's tiny airport. A few times a day, you'll see a plane gliding in low, passing just a few dozen meters above you before touching down on the runway nearby. Everyone stops to look up, cameras in hand, capturing the moment. And then, just as quickly as it came, the noise fades and the beach returns to its peaceful rhythm as if nothing had happened at all. Trau is pure Vietnam beauty, golden powdery sand. Water so clear it glows in the sun. And rocky cliffs on both ends draped in lush green forest, holding the beach like an embrace. I once brought a group of American guests here. While strolling along the shore, one man, an aircraft engineer, froze in his tracks when a plane began to descend. He grinned and told me, "This is the first time I've watched a plane land with my feet in the ocean." Here, you can rent a beach chair, order a fresh coconut, and lie under the swaying palms. Or do nothing at all, just listen to the waves and breathe. Trau gives you that rare mix. Untouched nature with a dash of modern life flying right above you. A local once told me, this place isn't beautiful because it's untouched. It's beautiful because it balances people and nature, and I believe him. So if you want a place where you can melt into the stillness of the sea, but still get your heart racing with a one-of-a-kind experience, remember this name, Trau Beach, Con Dao. Trust me, you won't want to leave. I've been to dozens of beaches across Vietnam, each with its own charm. But there's one place that always feels like a fresh start every time I return Bai Monday, a hidden gem lying beneath the Dai Lan Lighthouse, where the very first rays of sunlight touch mainland Vietnam. Bai Monday isn't the kind of place you just stumble upon. You have to want to get there. It takes a little effort hiking over sandy hills, following narrow trails between the mountains and the forest, but when the view finally opens up in front of you, it's like walking straight into a cinematic scene. And trust me, every drop of sweat is worth it. Before you lies a golden crescent of sand, cradled between two rocky headlands. The water is a deep, clear blue, and the waves roll in with a rhythm that feels like nature's own lullaby. But the most magical thing here isn't the sand or the sea, it's the light. One morning, I woke up at 4 a.m. to lead a group of international travelers up to the lighthouse. The wind was cool and sharp, and the sky was still black. But then, the sun began to rise. Slowly, the horizon shifted from dark blue to soft orange, and the very first beam of sunlight spilled across the ocean, warm and gentle, like a quiet good morning from the earth itself. A guest from Australia stood beside me for a long time before whispering, "Billy, I feel like I'm watching the planet wake up." Bai Monday isn't crowded with resorts or blaring music. At this hour, it's just you, the sunrise, and the sound of waves meeting the shore. And there's something about that stillness that feels like it's resetting your heart. This beach blooms only in the early morning, when the sun is soft and the wind is kind. That's when you can hear your own heartbeat in the rhythm of the waves, and let the dawn wash away whatever weight you've been carrying. So if you ever feel tired, and need a place to start again, not just in your travels, but in your life, come to Bai Monday before the sun comes up. Let the day begin with you. Lai Sun is a name many beach lovers in Vietnam know, but tucked away within its larger island lies a tiny, quiet world of its own, a speck on the map that most travelers never think to visit. They call it Dao Be Little Island, but I like to think of it as a pearl that fell asleep in the middle of the ocean. It only takes about 15 minutes by speedboat from the main island to get here. And the moment you step off at the pier, you'll see it the kind of small-town charm that makes you want to kick off your shoes and forget about everything else. The beach isn't large, but every inch feels like it belongs in a painting. Powdery white sand, water so clear you can see the coral gardens from above, and schools of colorful fish darting in and out of the reefs. You don't need to dive far, just slip on a mask, put your face in the water, and you're suddenly in another universe, alive with color and motion. I once brought a 3-generation family here, grandparents, parents, and a little girl. While snorkeling at the main beach, the girl suddenly popped up, eyes wide, and shouted, "Grandma, there's a rainbow under the sea!" I looked down and saw what she meant, sunlight streaming through the water, breaking into colors over the coral, a rainbow not meant for the sky. Dao Be has no big hotels, just a few small thatched roof homestays, and locals so kind they might hand you a bunch of bananas or a couple of fresh fish they caught that morning. Every house faces the sea, because here, the ocean isn't just a view, it's life itself. You can walk around the whole island in less than an hour, but the feeling it leaves with you will last much longer. There's something about Dao Be that makes you feel like you don't have to do anything to enjoy it. Just sit on the black volcanic rocks, watch the kids playing by the waves, listen to the palms swaying in the breeze, and let the sunlight slide over your shoulders. I've always thought, if I ever needed to disappear from the world for a few days to slow down, to breathe deeper, to remember who I am, it would be here. Because Dao Be doesn't try to be beautiful, it already is.